This Sunday on Press Pass, signature tables are popping up across the valley, collecting support for a proposal to eliminate property taxes in Ohio. Local leaders say without a plan in place, it could devastate essential services and force some townships to shut down. The citizen-led initiative would abolish property taxes, leaving lawmakers responsible for finding alternative funding for schools, police, fire, and local governments. Locally, townships depend on property taxes for nearly 90% of their budgets. So here with more on this push to eliminate the tax, Mahoning County Commissioner Gino DeFabio. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. So aside from eliminating property tax altogether, is property tax relief something that is needed for homeowners in Mahoning County?
Oh, it's 100% across the state, everywhere. I mean, I use the example, you know, if someone was working at GM when they were 30 years old and maybe the man's wife was working at St. E's, they bought a house in Boardman or Canfield, $100,000. Well, they're earning money. I mean, they both have good jobs. Well, now these same folks are 70 years old and we're coming to them and saying, well, we need $9,000 or you'll have to move. We can't, that's unsustainable. That's not fair. You shouldn't pay for your home. I've had more seniors come up to me at the fair and everywhere saying, I can't pay my taxes. You have to do something. And I want to use my voice out here as much as I can to get everybody on board, because we do have to do something. We can't let that go on.
Now, I know that you just got back from a commissioners conference where this was a topic. How big of a concern is this for them?
Among the commissioners, a very big concern. Among the people from the state that came there, they said they're going to work on legislation and the governor has a blue ribbon committee. Well, that's not good enough. This isn't just Mahoning County where this is an issue and they're getting these petitions. This is across the state. People are fed up. There was a poll taken out of Florida where they polled Ohioans. It would pass 70-30. Everybody wants to get rid of their property tax. Of course, everybody wants that. Nobody knows how it's going to be fixed, but they said they'll figure it out. I want people to start figuring it out. That's what I want. That's what I want to use this time for.
Now, if they are successful in eliminating property tax, what kind of impact do you think will be felt throughout the valley?
Throughout the valley, well, we have our townships. Their funding all comes from, I mean, there's three ways to collect revenue in Ohio. There's income tax, sales tax, and property tax. The townships can't collect sales tax, and they can't collect income tax. Their sole source of funding, other than maybe a grant here or there, are the levies that their people vote on. So when I say that the townships will have to go away, which, I mean, they will. It's not a scare tactic. It's what's going to happen. You can't have a government without any funding that provides services. The whole government, the county, at every level, we provide services to the residents.
Now, if it came to eliminating property tax, what kind of alternatives should townships or services look at or look for?
Well, that's where I need guidance. I mean, there's the state's saying, well, they could become cities. Well, there has to be a reason, and I haven't found it. I haven't asked enough questions, but why Boardman didn't become a city, why Austintown hasn't become a city. They're much larger. Those townships are much larger than some cities. There's drawbacks to being a city, evidently, and they don't want to do that. But everybody has to talk about it now.
Is there any kind of relief that could be implemented?
Well, if you go to our auditor's website, which is a great website, he does a great job, and you look at the property taxes, how much you pay and where they go. It's the elephant in the room is the lion's share go to the schools. Now that's a big argument because, you know, 25, 30 years ago, the Supreme Court in Ohio said that the state had to find a different way to fund schools because this was unfair. And they haven't done it. Look, I drove a truck for 31 years. That was my job. I'm not a dumb truck driver, but that's what I did. And if I got in my truck, I checked it out before I went. If I was driving down the road and I got a low oil pressure light, I stopped and checked the oil. I had to fix it, because you're not going to drive it till the motor blows up. If I had a tire that was low, I filled it. I wasn't going to wait till I was riding on the rim. You don't kick things down the road. Being from the private sector, you don't let things go. It seems government, they want to keep kicking it down the road till later. Well, as a driver of that truck, I was responsible for the truck, my safety, the safety of everyone around me, and the safety of what I was hauling. As a representative of the people, I'm responsible for them. I'm not going to keep driving on bad tires. I have to do something.
So how are the commissioners working on all this at this point?
We're going to get meetings with state legislators and it's, like I said, it's across Ohio. but I'm not going to be silent. We're going to do that. I want to talk to the townships, and we have to talk to the school board, the superintendents also. There's over 600 school systems in Ohio for 88 counties. The lion's share of the money from your property taxes go to the schools. We have to figure that out. If the state could figure out how to fund the schools other than property taxes, to more than cut people's property taxes in half, I'm sure that would satisfy. That's the only thing that would stop this ball from rolling down the hill, I think. But I don't think there's a heart, a desire, or there's any angst in the state to do that.
Okay, a lot of things to consider then, clearly.
There is.
All right,
There
well,
is.
Commissioner Gino DeFabio, thank you again.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, and God bless and everybody enjoy the fair.
Of course, yes. All righty, WFMJ Weekend Today will be right back with more local news.